Hello fellow gardeners, welcome back to Smart Garden. Today we're tackling one of the most frustrating challenges any of us face, that moment when you realize your garden beds have become depleted, tired, and frankly, lifeless. The soil that once supported vibrant growth now seems to resist every effort you make. But here's the good news, you don't need expensive synthetic amendments or complicated solutions. What you need is already in your kitchen pantry, and by the end of this guide, you'll understand why 3 humble ingredients can spark a genuine transformation in your garden. Let's be honest, we don't spend much time thinking about soil until something goes wrong. That struggling tomato plant with yellowing leaves, the lettuce that never quite reaches full size, the flowers that bloom half-heartedly, they're all sending you the same message. Beneath the surface, your soil has become depleted. It's lacking the living ecosystem that makes plants thrive. When soil dies, plants suffer in ways that aren't always immediately obvious. Nutrient absorption becomes nearly impossible because, well, there's just no microbial life to help break down minerals into forms that plants can actually use. Water either runs right through or just pools on the surface, instead of being held in a healthy soil structure. The result? Weak plants that struggle against pests and disease, and a gardener who, honestly, feels trapped in a cycle of disappointment. You know, many of us have been conditioned to reach for store-bought fertilizers and amendments when this happens. We're told that commercial products are faster, more reliable, and scientifically formulated. But here's what the marketing doesn't tell you. Most of these products are designed to give you a quick fix, not a lasting solution. They often skip the most important part of soil health, building the living, breathing microbial community that makes soil actually functional. There's a better way, and honestly, it's been hiding in plain sight the whole time. Meet your soil's salvation: oats, water, and sugar. I know, it sounds almost too simple. These aren't exotic ingredients or hard-to-find materials. They're everyday items that most gardeners already have at home. But don't let the simplicity fool you. The science behind this combination is solid, and the results speak for themselves. Oats are an incredible source of organic matter, and more importantly, they're a feast for soil microbes. When you introduce oats to your soil system, you're not just adding passive material, you're creating an environment where beneficial bacteria and fungi can flourish. Water is the delivery system. It's the medium that carries your beneficial ingredients into the soil where they can work their magic. Plain water seems ordinary, but when combined with the other elements, it becomes a vehicle for transformation. Sugar is the accelerant. Here's where it gets interesting. Sugar is an immediate food source for the microorganisms already living in your soil. Even depleted soil contains dormant microbial life just waiting for the right conditions to wake up. Sugar activates them. It's like ringing a dinner bell for beneficial bacteria and fungi, encouraging them to multiply and become active. As they feed on the sugar, they begin processing organic matter more efficiently, which releases nutrients that your plants can actually access. The beauty of this approach is that you're not trying to force nutrients directly into plants. Instead, you're rebuilding the biological infrastructure that makes soil work the way nature intended. Alright, now that you understand the why, let's explore the how. This process is straightforward enough for any gardener, whether you're a complete beginner or someone with decades of experience. Start by gathering your materials. You'll need plain, old-fashioned oats, not instant varieties, as these contain fewer nutrients and often include additives that can interfere with your goals. Measure out approximately 3 to 4 tablespoons of oats per application. Next, prepare warm water. You'll need around 2 cups to create your oat infusion. Finally, gather white or brown sugar. Roughly 1 tablespoon will be sufficient. Begin by soaking your oats in warm water and allowing them to steep for several hours or overnight. This isn't tea in the traditional sense. You're essentially creating an oat-infused water that's rich in the compounds oats release during soaking. After the soaking period, strain out the solid oats and reserve the liquid. This is your first component, oat water, loaded with nutrients and ready to feed your soil ecosystem. While your oats are steeping, go ahead and dissolve your sugar in a separate container with 1 cup of water. Mix thoroughly until the sugar is completely dissolved. This creates your microbial activator, a simple but effective food source for the bacteria and fungi that will drive your soil's transformation. Now, some gardeners prefer to combine the oat water and sugar water before application, while others apply them separately. Both approaches work, but combining them creates a single, nutrient-rich solution that's easy to distribute evenly across your garden beds. Timing really matters when you apply this mixture. The ideal periods are early spring when soil is warming and microbial activity naturally increases, or in fall when you're preparing beds for the next season. These windows allow maximum time for the microbial community to establish itself and work on breaking down organic matter. Apply this solution every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season for best results. Before application, if your soil is particularly dry, water it lightly with plain water first. This ensures your nutrient mixture soaks in deeply, rather than just sitting on the surface where it can't reach the microorganisms that need it most. What happens next is where the magic becomes visible. Within just a few days of your first application, you'll start noticing some subtle changes. If you examine your soil closely, you might see increased earthworm activity. These creatures are indicators of a thriving soil ecosystem, and their presence means your microbial communities are establishing themselves. The soil begins to look darker, richer, more alive. Its texture becomes crumbly and pleasant to work with, rather than compacted and lifeless. Over the course of several weeks, the changes really start to accelerate. Plants grown in soil receiving this treatment develop deeper green coloring in their foliage. Growth becomes noticeably more vigorous. Water retention improves. You'll find yourself watering less frequently as the soil actually holds moisture instead of letting it drain away. Pest and disease pressure often decreases because healthy plants grown in healthy soil are naturally more resilient. Here's what truly matters. Once you begin this process, you're not just improving your current garden season, you're investing in the long-term health of your garden ecosystem. Every application adds organic matter and strengthens the microbial communities that make soil productive. Over time, your dependence on external inputs decreases. Your soil becomes more resilient to drought, more resistant to disease, and more capable of supporting abundant plant growth. This approach aligns with something fundamental that gardeners understand intuitively. Nature works through relationships and cycles, not through force or artificial shortcuts. By nurturing the living systems beneath your plants, you're participating in something larger than yourself. You're building a garden that doesn't just survive but genuinely thrives, year after year. I'd love to hear about your experience with this method. Try it on a small section of your garden first if you're hesitant, then watch what happens. Share your results in the comments below. Seeing real transformations from our community members is what makes this channel special. If this guide helped you, please subscribe to Smart Garden for more natural, effective gardening solutions that actually work. Together, we're building a movement toward gardens that are healthier, more sustainable, and far more rewarding. Your soil is waiting to come back to life.